All right. Shalom, shalom. This is Soldier Yazaniah coming at you with a little video condemning these Christians, man, confounding these Christians really on this topic that I hear, all the time when I'm out in the highways and hedges, when they say, don't you gotta preach to every beast and to every creature and to every nation and every person? Don't they all gotta hear the gospel? That doesn't mean that all that salvation is for them. It's for a beast. Is a beast going to be reigning in the kingdom with us? No. There's one likeness unto man, and there's one likeness, unto angels, man. There's one flesh unto angels, one flesh unto man, one flesh unto beasts, man, and they're all separated. So before I begin, I have a few precepts I want to get through. I'll launch them off. Then I'm gonna sign out. So give all praise, all glory to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. And I'm going to get started. So I'm going to pull up the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries, against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. You see that? That's the part of the gospel that they're hearing, man. That's the part of the of the you know what, before I begin, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up get that in Matthew, when Yahushai was saying preach to every nation, every creature. It's in the book of Mark, chapter 16 and verse 15, and it reads, and he said unto them, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. You see that? We already know who the world is. So, we'd be preaching to the diaspora of the Israelites, man, to the scattered Israelites. But we know in Job 11:6 that, the secrets of wisdom is double, So if any creature or if any, person is getting this gospel, it's the Israelites, man. It's not for you gooks, you Asians, you Elamites, man, you Edomites first and foremost. It's not for any of you, man. Right? And we already know, we're gonna pull it up in Romans, that that we were called beasts, man. We changed our natural. Is it Romans 1? We changed our natural affection to that of four-footed beasts, right? So see if we can find that. See, reveal the heavens all in godliness and righteousness. Manifest the God invisible things. Salakia. There we go, verse 23. And change the glory of the uncorruptible God into image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things, man. These are the creatures we'd be going to, man. Right? These are the beasts and the creatures that these Christians, because they don't read precept upon precept, are confounded at, man. Right? But even if so, you want to take their logic, right? The only reason we'd be dealing with these heathens, man, is to condemn them to death, man. Like I was saying in Jeremiah 28 and 8, that's the only good news, that they get to be reigned over, man, and that there's no more war on the earth, man. Right? There's no more plague. There's no more worry. There's no more stress. When let's get that one precept. So that's Proverbs. This is Proverbs PP. Proverbs, what is it? 29. Proverbs 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, man. So there's not going to be any more of that mourning, man. There's not going to be any more of that pain when we're in authority, man. That's the only good news that they get, man. That they get to be our slaves, man. Right? That the earth is going to restore back to its original state, and everything's going to be turned right side up, man. You know, by the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 35, verse 1. Right? This is the rejoicing of the wilderness, man, and the rejoicing of the beast, man. Because you know the young child shall play with the adder, and shall play on the I'm paraphrasing, but will play with the lion, and the lion will lie down with the sheep, you know. So this is Isaiah 35 and 1. The wilderness and the solitary place shall be glad for them. You know, this is ultimately talking about Israel, because Israel is in the wilderness, right? But we know that, you know, the earth isn't gonna mourn anymore, man. What did it say? The trees will sing, man, right? The trees will begin to sing and rejoice, man, and exhale, because it's gonna the yoke of the white man's gonna be broken off of their necks, man, off the earth's necks, off the beasts, you know, because even that there was a curse put on the beast, man, that you know, in the times of Noah, that that you know, the fear of man will be upon them, man. So no more. That's that curse can be lifted off them, man. And who's the chiefest that they feared, man? The white man, right? The so-called Edomites, the people of the Lord's curse, man, right? So how is you know, that's their gospel, right? That's their good news and their message for them, and that's it, and it stops there, man. Our people got to stop cooning out for these damn Edomites, man, for these damn nations, right? Are you going to be in damnation with these damn nations, right? And the desert shall rejoice, and the blossom as the rose, man, and blossom as the rose, and it shall blossom abundantly and rejoice, even with the joy and singing, right? And the glory of Lebanon shall be, you know, and it keeps on going. Because ultimately, you know, the wilderness is nations and deserts, but it can be related to, you know, these beasts, man, who are going to be in league with us. Let's get that in Job. So Job 5. We can even start at Job 12. Let's see. Find it up. So be scourged. Yeah, they shall be afraid of the beast. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Job 22. But let's get Job 5 and 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise, man. And he taketh the wise in their craftiness, and the counsel of the froward it is carried headlong. You see that? So they're not going to get to implement their craftiness upon the earth, man. He's going to disappoint them, man. And if there's something to disappoint, that means there's a plan in action that's slaughtering the whole earth, man. That's plaguing and oppressing the whole earth. So those are the people who will rejoice while the elect is being chosen and lifted up, man. They're gonna say, finally, you know, the peace upon the earth, world peace, man, right? But you know, they're gonna ultimately they're gonna be in a worse captivity even even the ones that we suffered. But it's not gonna be no, it's gonna be a different type of suffering. You know, not no Batiman thing where buttholes are getting stretched out and nasty, you know, sitting like that. But it's not gonna be to that. It's not gonna be any wickedness. It's gonna be a righteous wickedness, almost a righteous a righteous tribulation, man, a just tribulation. But you know, it's deserved, right? So they're gonna have that innate feeling of, you know what, I deserve this, man. Because a lot of white people, man, that I meet, a lot of these nations, man, they don't know how to, they to use biblical terminology, they basically they basically what's that scripture? They complain about an ungodly father, right? Constantly complaining about an ungodly father, because they've inherited lies, man, and they don't know how to cope, right? And that's why they kiss our boots, man. That's why because they know what they did was messed up, man. And there hasn't been any sort of reconciliation or payback for it, right? So that reigning that we're gonna get over them is gonna be righteous, and it's gonna sit in their hearts and saying, we deserve this, reign over me. You are my God. You know what I mean? So that's their good news, man. That's the part of the gospel they get, right? That they get to serve us, man. They're lucky. They're lucky, that's it, right? That they even get 1,000 years, man. Because, hey, I've heard even one of the people in my camp saying if it was up to them, because Most High is abundant in mercy, Now unto him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly above than we can ask or think, But if it was up to me, man, I'll slaughter all these. It'll be a whole utopia of Israelites, man. I'll slaughter all these nations, man. Get out of my sight, but the Most High has a purpose. You know what I mean? He is above all, and the earth is his footstool, man. He'll do what he pleases, man. We can't speak against the potter, man. We're just the clay. So he disappoints them in their craftiness. It says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the field, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. You see that? They're gonna be at peace with us, man. Right? So that's the creature. That's also the creature who's getting this gospel, man. Because they're spiritual beings, man. They're controlled by the by the hand of the Most High. We're gonna get that in the Apocrypha. All right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 30, and it says, we'll go 28. Salakia. Sirach 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In a time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Right? Fire and hail. So these spirits, ultimately of beasts, of insects, all these kingdoms upon the earth, right, are subject to the Most High, right? So when our yoke gets our yoke gets lifted, their yoke will get lifted as well, right? And they'll be set under us, man, and be in league with us, like Job 5 just said. So there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail, famine and death, and all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready. They shall be ready upon the earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. You see that? So they too will get this gospel, man, because they're subject to this to the spirit of the Most High, to the will of the Most High, right? So they too will get this gospel, right? Alongside, first and foremost, obviously, because even 2/3 of the animal can get burnt up, but the creature, like we read in Romans 1, Israel's gonna get this word, man, right? Israel's gonna get this word. All Israel shall be saved, right? Regenerated into the kingdom and whatnot. So we're gonna, you know, our flesh is gonna be the Lord's flesh, man. It's gonna be the Lord's arm, you know, in that day. And then, you know, we'll have our rejoicing. Let's get this next precept. First Chronicles chapter 16, verse 32. Let the sea roar and the fullness thereof. Let the fields rejoice and all that is therein. Then shall the trees of the wood sing out at the presence of the Lord, because he cometh to judge the earth. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. See that? This is this is what the, you know, the land is gonna do, man. It's gonna ultimately sigh, man. Right? It's gonna sing to the Lord, man. Birds, right? You know, lions are gonna howl, man. Or lions are gonna growl. Wolves are gonna howl, man. Right? Now, you know, bringing that to us, man, we're gonna sing, man. Right? The whole earth is gonna rejoice at the coming of the Lord. When he comes to judge the earth with righteousness, man. As it needs, man. The wicked must be punished, man. And they must be, you know, they must be chased out of the earth, according to the book of Job. Right? It's the book of Baruch, chapter 5, verse 3. Verse 3. For God will shew thy brightness unto every country under heaven. Right? This is the brightness, you know. And there's another scripture. Was it Isaiah 2? That, you know, all nations will come flowing to us, man, because of this light. We'll grab that right after. Right? Because, you know, the laws are going to be put in our inward parts. So we'll have to teach the nation of our righteousness, right? And finally, you know, rule the land, man, as we're meant to do. So our brightness can be into all countries, right? And they'll come bending unto us, man. For thy name shall be called of God forever, the peace of righteousness and the glory of God's worship, right? Because his mightiful hand is going to be seen in the acts that he's going to do when he tops the acts of Egypt, man. So all nations will see our salvation, man. When the Lord comes, it says he's going to come like a flashing of light that goes from the south, you know, all the way to the north, man. Right? And all nations are gonna see our salvation. Like it says in Acts, he's gonna glorify us openly, right? So that's the gospel that they're gonna get, man. Because our brightness has to go into all the nations, man. Because there can't be nobody not knowing, you know, that you know, Israel is getting beamed up, man. Israel's getting saved, and the land belongs to Israel. That's wickedness, man. That's off as hell. That they think there's going to be some governing outside of Israel's rulership and Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai's kingdom, man. That's completely off. So our brightness has to go into all the nations, man. And we'll be called will be called of God forever, the peace of righteousness, man. Right? That's all the nations, man. But starting with us being scattered in all the nations. Let's get this next precept. This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3, verse 19. It says, Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out. Right? And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. Right? So them getting this gospel is them getting receiving the fame of us, man, and having praise towards us, right? Also, going into all nations to gather the diaspora, man, to gather the lost sheep of the house of Israel, whom Christ came for, right? So that's why we would be going in. Those are the purposes why we'd be going into all nations, preaching to every creature, right? And to all people, man. To the ends of the earth. To get our fame, to get our people, and to lift the yoke off of the land, man. That they do not hurt the earth. Let's get that in Revelation. All right, so this is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 18. And it reads, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth." Right? So they're no longer to be oppressing the earth any longer, man. So that's why we're preaching to all nations and all kingdoms, man. Why? To reiterate, I mean, this sounds redundant, but to seal the elect on their foreheads, right? Before the Lord hurts the earth, right? To clean dissolve it, pertaining to the book of Isaiah, right? That 20 something. To judge, to give reward to the servants, the prophets, and the saints that fear the name, man. Small and great. How are you small? If you're small, that means you're under somebody. So that means the saints are under somebody. That means they're in these kingdoms, man. So we have to go into all the world, give them this gospel, right? Preach to all the saints, preach to all the I'm gonna say preach to the creatures, but eventually the creatures are gonna get this gospel, right? By waking up the elect, right? By waking up those creatures, right? So it's double, like we read in the book of Job, right? That his sayings, the sayings of wisdom, is double. We'll close out on that one scripture in Job. But ultimately, it's destroying them that destroy the earth, bringing liberation to the earth, man. So this is Job 11. Is it verse 6? "And that he should shew thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Know therefore that God exacteth of these less than thine iniquity deserves." Right? So, us obviously deserving, the just recompense and judgment of transgressing the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High by following after what? These nations, being scattered in these nations, right? Us getting that wisdom, man. And we know this understanding and these breakdowns because it's spiritually discerned, and that we have the mental fortitude to know that these are double, man. It's not what the Christians saying. It's not salvation to all nations and preaching to all people, right? It's not salvation to these people, man. They'll get preached to, right? But either condemning them, right? Or saying you're going to be in subjugation to us really fast, dealing with them really fast, and switching it, trying to find Jake, man. If you're fishing, like, Yahweh Shai said he's going to make us fishers of men. If you're fishing, you're not going to sit there and fish for boots and fish for weeds and fish for tears. No, man, you're fishing for fish, right? That's the reason why we're fishing out here, right? So you may get snagged on something, but you just throw it right back, right? You just throw it right back. It has no use, man, right? So you just tell them, you're useless, right? Switch it on to a Jake, right? But the foliage and the creatures and the actual fish, also the creatures, right? No longer going to be oppressed anymore, and the water's no longer going to be polluted, right? After we clean up the sea that we're fishing in, and fish all the gold out, right? And all our aim, which is men. I don't mean to go so deep in the parable, but you understand. So I'm going to close out with that. I'm going to say, QamYasharala, death to America, death to you 2/3, right? Let's give all praises, all glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Shalom.